Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon, and we're back for another expanded deck profile. This time it's going to be Raikou Eels, more like just like an electric box deck, I guess, using Tynamo to power up a bunch of different attackers for different situations, and a lot of the time we're going to have answers to a wide variety of decks in the format, thanks to Eelektrik. So let's jump into the list and see what it's all about. First of all, a 4/4 line of Eelektrik. We have the Thunder Wave Tynamo. There's also a 30 HP one that has free retreat. Way too risky right now because of Trevenant, and we would rather use the one with the most HP, and this is the one that can paralyze. Then we have Eelektrik, and this is what the whole deck functions around, the ability Dynamotor. Once during your turn, you may attach a Lightning Energy card from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon, and we are going to try and stack multiple Eels onto our bench to get multiple uses of Dynamotor each turn to start powering up some potentially expensive attack costs and be able to set them up in a turn consecutively and throw lots of different attackers in our opponent's face for the right situation. So the main target that we put energies onto is Raikou a lot of the time. He's a 120 HP basic that gets a little bit more tanky with his ability Shining Body. If this Pokemon has any lightning energy attached to it, any damage done to this Pokemon by attacks is reduced by 20. Very nice. A little reduction of 20 is really annoying, especially for some decks that like to do little prods of damage, and that would namely be Seismitoad EX. Toad likes to poke away with Quaking Punch and try and control the board and the game. And when we're reducing 20, that leaves Quaking Punch only doing 10 base. Obviously they'll play tools and lasers and such, but you get the theory. It's hard to take down a Raikou for Toad, especially when you can see we're playing 4 Rough Seas. Sorry, 3 Rough Seas. So yeah, we can heal a bunch, and we have reduction on top of that. So really, really strong ability. Very annoying to get around. And for a lot of things, it's not easy to hit 140, and we can go even higher again with Fighting Fury Belt in the deck as well. So Raikou is a very tanky non-EX, and opponents have to basically commit their best attackers just to try and deal with him. Sometimes they can't one-shot, and that is very inefficient prize trade. Thunderlance reads very similarly to Keldeo EX's attack. This time it's 50 plus 20 more for each lightning energy attached to this Pokemon. So we have the requisite 3, meaning that we deal 110 as a baseline. 110 very good. Thanks to our weakness, we can one-hit KO Rayquazas. Naturally, we can one-hit KO Shaymins. And we can just deal 2 shots on pretty much everything. Even being able to scale this damage further with more attachments mean we can happily 2-shot even the likes of things like Gardevoir GX. So yeah, pretty good attack indeed. So the supporting cast, we are going to go for 2 Jolteon EX. Jolteon, 160 HP EX Pokemon, doesn't seem very good, but it does have the Flash Ray attack, which is the main focus for this card. Dealing 70, and during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from basics. There's a few decks out there that are entirely basic focused. There is Turbo Darkrai, Aqua Box, Volcanion, Night March, and a few others out there as well, which really would not appreciate a Jolteon. And oftentimes, none of them are playing Ranger, a lot of them are being greedy. Oftentimes, the only answer is going to be something like a combination of Guzmas and Escape Ropes on the same turn to deal with the Jolteon, or people just try and Guzma around you full stop, and hope that you bench enough Pokemon for them to win the game that way. And if you're smart, you won't do that. So yeah, Jolteon EX is a win condition on his own. We're playing 2 copies instead of just the 1, although in theory he could just like win you the game on his own back. It only prevents damage. That's not effective attack, and that means that Darkrai GX can actually one-shot a Jolteon. So we need to play at least 2 for that reason. And also, as I just mentioned, some decks are playing the combination of Rope Guzma, so they can get over 1 Jolteon, but getting over 2, that's going to be a lot more difficult. And even if we do bench stuff, like we kind of need to bench Eels, so we can power up Flash Ray, because we don't play DCE. We play AZ to try and take threats off of our own board. Well, not threats, take Pokemon off our board to leave a lone Jolteon. Or even if it's not a lone Jolteon, it's going to be take away 6 prizes from the opponent and make them have to go through a Jolteon one way or the other. So yeah, very good stuff. We do also have the Swift attack that can just do a little poke, 30, unaffected by any effects. Pretty decent. It has free retreat as well, so it's a good lead for the deck for sure. We are then going to play one Tapu Koko GX. It's finally time to see this guy in action. Aero Trail. When you put this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during a turn, you may move any number of lightning energy from your other Pokemon to this Pokemon. If you do, switch this Pokemon with your active. So even if we don't have many Eels online, as long as we have some sort of attackers built up, we can Aero Trail, get a Koko out of nowhere, and start using his attacks. The big one is Tapu Wilderness GX. This is the only GX attack we have available, and it's a really good one, dealing 50 times the amount of energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. This is one way to get a big knockout on some decks that like to stack energy on the board. Again, I go back to Turbo Darkrai, Aqua Box, and the big one is actually Gardevoir GX. We oftentimes struggle against that without the big burst that Koko can come up with, which is great. Skyhard Claws as well can do 130, comparable really to Raikou, but he is a bit tankier, especially with that Fury Belt. Sometimes he can take a hit. You can pick him back up with an AZ and then use him again later even. So yeah, he's a great one-off in the deck for sure. Do that big burst of damage when we need him to deal with a threat instantly, and then he can either tank or he can run away with AZ and reuse him later. Then we are also playing one Seismitoad EX as well. Quaking Punch, still fantastic. We're playing Colorless, we're playing Acceleration. We can get Quaking Punches going. Even if it's not turn 1, it can be at later dates, and it's still going to be beneficial for you. Many, many reasons why Quaking Punch is going to be good. Denying your opponent outs. If you're Enning plus Quaking Punch, they don't have Versus Seeker as an out, they don't have their A-Spec, they don't have Ultra Ball. All this stuff is going to be good for you. Quaking Punch will get you out of bad spots. Additionally, he's a Water type, and the rest of the deck is weak to fighting, and although not all fighting types are weak to water, some of them are, and Landorus is otherwise a card that would really run through an electric deck, so having Seismitoad in here so that we can at least try and target the Landorus as quickly as possible with weakness, try and deter them from using that. It's going to be nice to protect our Tynamos and Eelektriks in the early turns, so Seismitoad EX, nice for a bunch of reasons, and also helping out typing-wise, which is pretty cool. Finally, we have Tapu Lele GX, Wonder Tag, obviously incredible for setting us up. We have Brigette now with Lele in this deck, so we can grab multiple Tynamo real quick. So Lele is great to find in the early turns, and also, again, because we have Energy Acceleration, Eels used to play Mewtwo, now we have Lele, so it fits 2 roles in one and helps us save a few slots here and there, which is really cool. Onto the trainers, we are using Computer Search as the A-Spec, and that's just going to be nice for discarding energies, getting whatever we need to at the right time. One level ball, I feel with Brigette we can cut down. This was typically like a 2 or 3 count in other lists. It's still good for finding Eelektrik, and if you can't Brigette, it's still good for finding Tynamos early. But I feel like 1 is all we really require, because we can draw into naturally the high count that we have a lot of the time. We are going to play double Battle Compressor for getting more discards, going to help us get VS Seeker activation, again, another way of getting Brigette turn 1, as well as getting Lightnings in the bin to re-spam with Dynamotor. 2 Field Blower, because I've mentioned an ability on like 4 of our big guys, Lele, Eelektrik, Koko, and Raikou, obviously the biggest one being Eelektrik. If that's turned off, we are very sad, so having Field Blower to reactivate our abilities against Garbotoxin is going to be big. Also getting the Stadium War contested, getting rid of tools, so many reasons why Field Blower is an amazing card, and that's why we're going to play 2 of it. 4 ofs of Ultra Ball and Versus Seeker, because they're big consistency cards, and great for finding Lele early turns, great for finding all your attackers, all your Eels, all that good stuff, and Versus Seeker spamming the supporters in the right spots. 3 Rough Seas, in combination with Raikou's ability, it's so frustrating for Trevenant and for Seismitoad to deal anything against this deck, and we can undo damage so nicely, and because he only has a 1 retreat cost, we can just move out of him if he is starting to get heavily damaged, and just let Rough Seas do the job over and over again to heal him back out of range. Very good at dealing with item lock is Raikou indeed, and the deck in general is as well. Then we have 1 AZ, as I said, good for the Jolteon EX combo. If you're going for the lone Jolteon route, sometimes there are archetypes that you can't beat without Jolteon. You can AZ up like your Leles, or even things like an Eel you can pick up if you need to deny the escape rope Guzma plays or rope Lysander or whatever, you can deny that completely and leave yourself with a lone Jolteon and win the game off of that. We are going to play one Brigette. That's going to help us spam Tynamos early to try and get a good board state on turn 2. Colress is great, especially because you have turn 1 Brigette now. We're going to fill up our bench and get a lot of draw. Double Guzma. We have free retreat from Jolteon, which is going to be nice. It means that we are fairly free to use Guzma. We also have just like the 1 retreat cost on Raikou. Double Floatstone as well. I feel content to just play this card and not rely on Lysander. You could go for the 1-1 split, that's up to you. But I like having the additional help of switching when we need to. It's also going to help us against lasers. We are not playing Keldeo EX in the deck. I rather just have bench spaces for Tynamos, basically, now that we have the option to Guzma instead. So this is a way around status, which is pretty important. 3N and for Professor Juniper. Juniper takes priority because we can discard more cards and draw more cards, which is good. Discarding Lightning is always a priority. N is still going to be a nice shuffle draw. We're not the most aggressive deck, so N is normally going to be in our favour to disrupt our opponents. 3 Fighting Fury Belt to make Raikou that much more tanky. Also, we can tank hits with Tapu Koko, which is cool. And Seismitoad gets big against things like Night March in the early turns. If you can get a turn 2 Quaking Punch, it's possible just by either like leading Jolteon and then just double attaching, or if you just get a few eels going, you can quite easily get a turn 2 Toad. And with Fury Belt, he's hard to take down, and it's a big commitment for the opponent. And again, we have AZ. We could AZ him up, Dynamo to back onto him, and just get back into the active if he can tank hits. It's a pretty neat combo. 2 Floatstone, even though we have Guzmas, I mean, we have high retreat on the eels, so it's good to protect those. Toad as well if need be, so having the Floatstone is still going to be helpful. I'm pretty okay with the 2 count. I think it's like on the high side, but at the same time I feel like it's one of these cards that is better safe than sorry in my opinion. And then just 9 Lightning is pretty much enough, pretty much the standard count to spam all you need and still have manual attachments on top of that. So, a few other attackers that you could be looking for. Marshadow was one that I was considering because its fighting typing can help out against Turbo Darkrai, and in general you can just spam any of the attackers at the right moment. The main reason I've gone off this is because oftentimes against Darkrai specifically, you're better just going the Jolteon route. So I'm not hugely happy with Marshadow. I don't think it fills a huge role. And at the same time, because we're already hugely ability focused, you're already giving them a reason to hex, and playing Marshadow gives them like an extra reason to hex you, and that's just sad. So, another one is Raikou EX. Where is it? Okay, it's not going to work like that. There we go. With the Overspark attack, discarding all lightning attached, this does 50 times the amount of energy discarded. So when you're drawing well and you can get like 4 energy attached in a turn, thanks to having like 3 eels plus a manual attachment, you can do another big blow up of damage for like 200. So that's like Koko gets a big one-shot, Pikachu gets a big one-shot, and then you're, you know, pretty much at the end game spot when you can do like Raikou, Lysander's Shaman or something for game. So you could go for that. I feel like it's a bit too much. It's more like a win more card, I think the Pikachu is. And in many spots, he's just instantly responded. So unless he's winning the game outright, I don't think he's overall super important. Necrozma GX is an interesting one, using him just for the Black Ray GX attack. We are fairly committed to the Tapu Thunder GX, but you could go to the Necrozma route, giving yourself the option to Black Ray. Pretty good. If you play Tapu Koko as well, the baby Koko, which I'll talk about in a minute, you can have like a hilariously good Rayquaza. You can have a much better Guardy as well. The Koko is good at dealing with one Guardy, but if they've got multiple, we're still in a bad spot. So Necrozma is good at getting 100 on everything, and then setting up like an army of Raikous is the stage 2 of our win condition in that regard. So Necrozma's cool for some evolution decks out there where you can spread a bunch and then start setting up the 2 shots on a lot of different things all at once. As well as that, you can just make Jolteon much more threatening. That you go from 100 to everything, and then the 70s are actually meaningful damage, or it's 80 with a Fury Belt as well. So you're actually doing knockouts now, and it really puts opponents on a clock with Jolteon. Whereas previously you're just sort of poking a bunch, and oftentimes it's 3-hit KOing, and it's a bit bad. So I haven't tried Necrozma out enough that's why he's not in my list, but I want to go down that route, I think. And Tapu Koko, I think, naturally would go in if you play Necrozma as well, because Flying Flip tends to deal with Shamans, which is nice, and Electric Ball is still an option, which is comparable to Raikou already, and it has free retreat, so it's just a comparable card already. Obviously a lot less tanky, but still fairly good. I think that's the biggest thing that I would look towards, changing the Pokemon in here. But for now, I thought, as always, love a good baseline list just for you guys to go off of and experiment with. So let's jump into the ladder and play some games with Raikou. If this lets me. Okay. Where are we? Raikou Eels. Here we go. Let's have some games. Let's see what we come up against. And let's see if this deck works. Okay, the ladder's been a little bit slow today, but hopefully we should jump into some games soon. Let's have a look. Right, here we go. We are up against Uncle Yuri. Looks like he has a dark deck of sorts. And if it's Turbo Darkrai, it's going to be Team Jolteon. We are going to go first. Great for evolution decks to go first. And we have a mulligan revealing what we are playing. There is our mulligan. And we have a pretty nice start here with Raikou, double eel. We can get a compressor for a supporter as well. It's going to be pretty good here. And it is indeed Darkrai. Wow, what a start we have. We can do a lot here. We can definitely do a lot here. We don't even need to bridge it because like we basically already have. So we can just grab Sycamore for the bin and use that. A Juniper, I should say. 1 in the discard, 2 in the discard sounds better. And what else do we want? We have 1 Eelektrik prize. We have both our Jolteons. Good to note. You do start by benching stuff, but you can go conservative later on in the game. So that's going to be fine, I think. What else do we want to burn here? I think I can just burn Brigette because we don't really need to use it at this point in the game. Like ever again, really, because our bench is so good. I have the decision now if I want to bench Raikou. The Jolteon approach is so good in this matchup. I think we just go for that instead. Okay. Comp search for Jolteon. How crazy we feeling, boys? Rusty is not too great in this matchup if we're going the Jolteon route, so I'm happy to get rid of targets here. And I'm fairly content just to go for it, you know. Let's have a look. What can he do about that guy? Don't need to Fury Belt him. We can Fury Belt Raikou instead, in case our opponent has a nuts turn. We now have effectively 180 HP in the active. And we can just pass. Pretty ideal turn 1. Chose to hold Tynamo for now, because I want to go this Jolteon route, and I want to just pick up stuff. We have to bear in mind that... oh, okay, that's fine. Parallel's fine. We would have had to discard this Tynamo anyway, then. Gets this. Wow, we didn't play around. Gets this. 3-card hand and he gets this, yo. Crazy. Well, it's pretty bad for us, right? Well, we can get our bench back and we can just attach pass, I guess. I wonder if he had nothing or he just had like a hard read on us. That Ultra Ball had to have been top decked. He would always play it if that wasn't top. Yeah, it was definitely top decked. What a guy. Should I have played around it? I mean, I never would have played either of the other two supporters, so I probably should have played around it. 3-card hand, you just don't see it happening. That was like a desperation gets this. That's the thing. It wasn't like that was the right play on that turn. It was just a... okay. Let's just chill. Let's just chill. Desperation gets us for the win. Looks like he's trying to set up the Night Spear Darkrai, maybe trying to tackle Tynamos while our hand is dead. Such a good start. We got punished. Was it something I should play around? This is the thing, I just don't even know if it was right to play around it when you have a 3-card hand. Like, I guess it is. It's just so unlikely. It was never his optimal choice. That's the thing that puts me off. Like, do you ever hedge that our opponent has a terrible hand? Their turn 1 wasn't even bad. It was... I don't know. I don't know. Raikou is a tank, at least. But he can only take 1 more hit. Our opponent's filled up their bench, so he can't use the GX. It's going to be good for us. In theory, we could get Jolteon attacking this turn. If we get double eel attach. Oh, it's our second Jolteon. Oh, it's so bad for us. So bad to discard it. Oh, no. It's such a bad draw. No. Gross. Damn it, game. Well, gotta do what you gotta do, right? I set my stall out early. Got myself in this spot for not playing versus Seeker. Definitely can't attack. This might be worth it. Rough Sea is still not important, even though we could go for like Night Spear. We have to bench this now. We'll blower him. Paralysis is our best play. Yeah, Paralysis is our best play. Oh, never lucky. Dowsing mech, eh? Grab Guzma, I guess, if he can KO me. Field blower, so maybe he has energy Guzma in hand, energy versus Seeker in hand. Yeah. Jolteon's gone. That's... oh. Okay. Well, fine. We still have the win condition. And it's time to pray. Colress is still better than N here, because we just need to hit Floatstone, double eel. Not going to bench the Toad because I need to scoop all this stuff up to not lose. Oh! That one. Oh my god, what a... This game's a write-off. This game's a write-off. He gets this for one. Love expanded so much. Yeah, that's game over. Well, that's a lesson for you and me. Mainly me. Very good. Okay. Let's... Oh, turn one was so broken as well. I was just too overexcited with that. Blinded by the turn one gets this of a 3-card hand. Broken. What are you gonna do, huh? What are you gonna do? I don't know. Well, we'll struggle to draw better than that turn one. Well, we do have turn one Brigette again, so cool. Brigette Thunderwave looks like our play already. We're up against Garbodor. Wonder what type of Garbodor. DCE to the active. Choice band to the active. Madness. Now, after drawing Raikou again, we could just level ball Tynamo, put down Raikou. But he's threatening the turn to knock out if he evolves into Garb. If he goes Garb Energy, he KOs even if we Thunderwave. So I think we should still just Brigette here. As long as we have our other Lele in deck, we should Brigette. Yeah, we have our other Lele. Just grab a bunch of Tynamos. Oh. Manual should be to here. So we can pay retreat, right? Do we hope to hit Floatstone next turn? We should play this now because we could get Getsist. This game. That was also a possibility. This is fine. If he has nothing, I'm not too sad about it. As soon as he does something, we have Lele. Unless he waits so patiently to set up Garbotoxin. In which case we have a few turns to top deck out. Guzma. Okay, that's fine. I mean, we can win if we get very lucky. And I mean very lucky. I gotta start putting pressure on him. He's got nothing going on here. Well, it's pressure. We'll grab one more eel. I'm a little bit careful about putting too many down because when we get item locked it's a bit sad. Sorry, ability locked. Let's just get Raikou ready to go. So now we're a switch card away from game. Okay, it's Glisapod. It's actually a kind of tricky matchup, this one. They don't one-shot us though, so we should be alright. I want to hit Float Stone quite badly here. Just for pressure. No pressure. Let's do this. That Garbodor has been around for way too long. Rainbow to Trubbish and a Sycamore. Another Trashalanche Garb. That's fine. I much prefer Trashalanche to Garbatoxin. So, let's get out of here. And just take the knockout. No need to play any items. I could have dynamoted one to a Tynamo. Maybe that was probably the best thing to do. Because then we can, if this does get knocked out, we could retreat. Small misstep there. It was definitely right to dynamo to once here. What does he need to KO though? He needs like Blower, Hex, or like Blower Crossing Cut, I guess. Finds himself a Tapu Koko. Could just be a Guzma play here. Guzma into Glisapod, take something out. Take out an Eelektrik. No, it's going to be an N instead. We don't mind that. Dealing with Garb early is much easier than dealing with Garb late, so we like this. Need to figure out how I'm going to get around the whole Glisapod loop thing. Freeing a bench space is appealing here. I could compress away Guzma and KO the Garb. That's also pretty appealing. So we're going to Dynamo twice to this Tynamo. So we can pay retreat and then have him ready to pay retreat the following turn. What a champ. Oh, whoa. Not the Versus Seeker. We can put... I need to be careful about how many energy I put in just because there's still the threat of Garbatoxin. Pretty sure Jolteon's useless in this matchup. magnet attachment. Do I want that to go anywhere? I feel like it should go somewhere. The lele's maybe fine. I can try and like just poke this guy if I don't find another attacker next turn. Maybe I cash in on the eel now. And again we can Thunder Lance. Not bad, not bad. Once he starts getting the Gliscod loop, it becomes a much more difficult game, I feel. Gonna see an Ultra Ball from our opponent. Got rid of Karen and Colress, it looks like. For more Wimpods. Interesting that they use the Scamper Away Wimpod. And not the Free Retreat one. I've seen a few players make that decision. Get rid of Stadium and Tool on Lele, because of course he'll be knocking out the active. Another energy gets committed. So I'd much prefer to attack with a Raikou here, so we'll still send up Tynamo. Brigette for Raikou? I mean, we could. We could deal with a Wimpod for a prize. With like Guzma Dynamotors. Where are my 4 prizes coming from? He's just going to keep bouncing. How many Versus Seekers has he gone through? 1. There's a bunch of Acerolas. Pretty sure Versus Seeker is the right move. I just need to figure out if Raikou's better. I think Raikou's better than just Guzmaing 1 prize. I guess we're actually taking a prize this way rather than just him spending a Versus Seeker. We have the Fury Belt to try and protect this Lele. From the GX attack. Trying to make it hard for him to put down more Trubbish, basically. Saying, if you want to put down Leles and Trubbishes and all that jazz, I'm going to punish you for it. Also, it's in my favour if he has more energy on his board, because I still have Coco waiting in the deck. So if ever he puts a DC down to GX attack... Oh my goodness, he's done it on the one that has 10 damage on as well. Oh, we can GX attack, knock it out. Oh boy, if he finds Field Blur, like we really want him to. Oh wow, he plays Weavile. Madman. He's a madman. Maybe he just armor presses. No, he's going to do it. 150 is not even a good number though. He's feeding me a... Wow. Okay. I can actually do the whole pick up thingamajig. No, I can't. Not for a knockout. I guess we just take the knockout. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, because then we're just GX away from game, right? Seems fine. I'm gonna try and keep these Ultra Balls to keep it hidden, right? If I just go, hey look, I have a Koko, he can just come in and retreat. So we'll deal with this. And hopefully we can knock out this Golisopod with the Tapu Koko GX attack. Why is there a Sneasel in the active? And why am I so scared? Rule of Evil, dealing with all our eels at once could be hilarious. Gonna get Enter 2, no doubt here. Let's see how we do off it. Pretty well. Pretty well, I would say. On a scale of 1 to pretty well, that's pretty well. So we are in danger, of course. But we should be able to deal with this in one hit. Or not. Wow, that's so incredibly bad for us that we whiffed Raikou and Koko. Wow, we're gonna lose to a Weavile, yo. I can't do anything. I can't deny it. I have to paralyze it and hope, right? It's my only line. Wow, we lost to a Weavile. Ah! Why are we getting beetled? This has been a horror show. Poor Raikou Eels. Man. Poor Raikou Eels. Damn. What happened? What happened? Jeez. What a mess. God. Well, that was a sight to behold. When Weavile has 2 turns to attack, it's pretty dangerous, I guess. Jeez. Yep. That happened, guys. That right there happened. Golisopod Garb Weavile. I'm not saying nothing. Right, let's try and have a game, shall we? Try and win a game. We're going first, so we can promote Toad, try and get 2 mangle attachments to it, protect the Tynamo a bit better. Metagross. We definitely need Seismitoad on our side here. How do we beat Metagross? Koko again might be a go-to for one of them. And then just Raikou smashing, I guess, with Fury Belt is the plan. Sycamore in this hand seems pretty good. We can put this into play. Dump all of this. It's all unnecessary that I don't want to draw back into. That's good. We got our attachment that we were after. Seems good. Toad is very slow if he is able to develop Vulpix. Getting rid of a max potion is good for us. Definitely good for us in the long run, because this game probably will be a long run game. Yep, we see a Tapu Lele. Gonna go ahead and grab that Brigette. Metagross in expanded. How good is it? I mean, Vespa and Flareon's the deck, right? So is Volk. I don't know. It's probably not the worst deck. Oh, he has no energy. That's really good. It means he can't get a double beacon. Well, not straight away at least. Let's commit this. I'm just going to stick him Juniper again. I could have gone risky and discarded the energy that we drew, but I didn't want to miss Punch. Punch is the way to win. Well, for now at least it's good. Buys us turns. Turns is the way to win. Whoa. Okay, prizes is the way to win. I've only just seen this. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, okay. Sure, we won't have a normal game in the 3 games that we've played. Gotta love Pokemon. We want to end so we can end away his Beacon. I want to Versus Seeker now in case I get random Get Assist. Because that's what we're playing around every time now. Every time. Have to play around it. Have to. Has to be done. Has to be done, my friends. That's why we see him attach bench, because he knows that we'll just end away a Beacon. Beacon. We don't need to end. We'll save it for iffy algorithms or beacons. Well, there's one Raikou back. Good. One for the good guys. There's one Metagross. Yeah, cool. Cool. Under lock just gets double Metang into double Metagross. Thanks, game. Okay, let's compose ourselves. We got a game to win here, boys. Got ourselves a game to win. As long as we continue punching, you can't one-shot with a Giga Hammer, which is a good start. So we can sit here punching for a while. Whoa. That's not what I was expecting to see. Let's end it away though. What sort of a hand is that? A bad one. The only reason I can think that he got a Delmise was because he had Sycamore. That's what makes sense in my head. Play Silent Lab and Delmise. What a combo. What a combo. Okay, looks like Metagross is coming to play. He's here to have some fun. Gonna hit us for 150. What is this hand? What do I do? What I can do is punch him again. Then what do I do the following turn? Like AZ up a Tynamo and... I'm lost for words. If I don't put Rough Seas in, it's better for me. Like, he could retreat and lele attack, I guess. He could anyway if I have Rough Seas regardless. Well, maybe not, but... Down goes Toad. There's actually a difference between 110 and 130 in this instance because we want a 2-shot Metagross. Sad as that AZ was, it was our best play. Let's start forcing him to Tapu Cure and Max Potion and all that jazz. One Max Potion's gone. Greedy Metagross play 3. Some Metagross play 2. He hasn't GX, so Tapu Cure's an option. Okay, there's number 2. He did the benched one. What? Why? Why though? Oh wait, I think he must have mistimed it, right? He should have paid retreat first, but because he clicked at the wrong time. I don't know. Definitely did something wrong there. Well, if he's greedy and plays 3, he's effectively got 2, because he discarded 1 and he wasted 1 on 40 damage. Don't tell him. Field Blower means he can KO us if he has an energy. Oh, of course he plays 3. Of course he does. I bet he plays 4. How much you want to bet, chat? Enter your bets now. Danger. Well, we have no more attackers after this Raikou, remember, because of our hilarious prizes. So we're going to need some jam. Otherwise we're going to be electric balling of Vulpix to try and finish it off. Yes, I just said that. I had to tell my own brain that I said that. He has 2 in the discard. It's so perfect. Everything's just too perfect. Arr. Activating Delmize, but also activating Shining Body, so we benefit from it. Of course we missed Float Stone. Why would we need it? Why would we need it? What a game. Looks like I'm not playing Raikou Eels anytime soon. What a beetle. It's times like this why the word beetle was invented for this channel. Jesus. There they are, just chilling in bottom 13 with the comp search where it belongs. Yeah. Sure. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do when this happens, huh? Oh, he has Blower Lysander, doesn't he? Or Blower Guzma. I have to scoop if he has Blower Guzma. I actually have to scoop because I have no more attackers. What a dream. I mean, I have Lele as an attacker, I guess. It's been for 2 choice bands. They typically play between 3 and 4. Yeah, thought it was about time for a Candy Metagross. Just what I was thinking. I was thinking it's about time for that to happen. Up comes another Metagross. Gonna do all the Geotechs. Gonna get the Guzma. See, like, I have to upload this video because it's just too perfect. But my goodness, do I hate eels. I was really excited about this list as well. Thought I'd done a good job on a good list. I've lost all sorts. I think the Weavile has to be the most triggering loss. I mean, come on then. Let's try and fight back. Wait. in. 1 million. KO Vulpix or try and stall for a few turns. What can I stall to help? What can I draw that helps me by stalling? There's actually no card that helps me. He guarantees 150 in our face. I don't know. He has to misplay his way out of game at this point, right? But we don't have another line, so sure. Attacker? Yeah! It's an attacker. We'll take it. We'll take it. Beggars cannot be choosers. Can in no way be choosers. Yeah. 0 card hand, 1 prize, 1 draw. Sycamore. Into choice band, no less. Getting real tired of this metagross. Getting real tired. And the fact that it's really late at night, which is why I'm also tired. Ooh, he manually attached. He gave us 200 damage. He got us closer. Nice guy. I mean, okay. We're trying. We're trying our bestest. We can... We have to end him, right? We could ace or AZ. Yeah, AZ is actually better. Sky High Claws. We just have to hope he's like prized a band or something at this point. He still has his GX. He's like so ridiculously ahead in this game. He has to throw it to lose. There's the retreat. Geotech Systems Online. Kapow. Another one. Unfortunately, Coco doesn't have resistance, but again, he doesn't have the band, so that's something. We are living on a prayer, as they say. Right, now we have to dodge everything. Have to dodge VS Seekers and Choice Band. And he can just Tapu Koko anyway next turn and I still lose. I mean, this should have been a concede. We all know it should have been a concede. Long ago. I wanted to concede long ago, trust me. Trust me, I wanted to. Is he going to BM Tapu Koko and say, I have a good deck? There it is. My misery has ended. We got Shrek'd by Metagross. What's our way to beat Metagross? Maybe Pikachu EX is necessary. And I really didn't expect Metagross to show up and expanded, to be honest, and I still don't think it should be something to be worried about. I mean, the losses have been against weird decks, right? Okay. Looks like you're going to have to test out Raikou Eels yourselves, because we didn't face the expected meta, and the matchups didn't go how we liked. I mean, we faced that Turbo Darkrai that did the Getsis of the 3-card hand. That was genuinely my error. I feel like we easily win that game if we just versus Seeker as well. So, game 1 my fault, and then I guess the next 2 games are my punishment. And yeah, I still back the deck. I think it's definitely still top tier, or at least tier 2. Can beat the item lock decks. Decent typing, good against Ray, good against quite a handful of things. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of Raikou Eels, what you think about my list, and everything else expanded in general, what you thought about those games. No doubt I'll hear about that stuff. So yeah, cheers everyone, and I'll be back in a better mood next time, so I'll see you there. Cheers.